Boys Don't Fry, written by Kimberly Lee, illustrated by CHARLENE CHUA. Jin sniffed. He couldn't smell the spices in the air, and he couldn't decide whether to sneeze or smile. He took another whiff. Oh, was that lemongrass? And muckroot lime leaves, too. Their bright, sharp scent made his taste buds tingle. His grandmother, Mama, was cooking up a storm. Dinner was sure to be good. Jin's aunties flew in and out of the kitchen like bees. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Their buzzing never stopped as they picked out the best herbs for their queen. Jin's tummy rumbled as loudly as the kitchen. Mama always said that the kitchen was the stomach of the house and the heart. That was Mama, of course. Both the heart and the stomach were working hard today on the eve of the Lunar New Year. Jin's relatives would be coming over for their big family reunion dinner that night. He couldn't wait. Teo, Jin's eldest auntie, turned excitedly to Jin's sister. Mama's cooking chicken pongtae for tonight. Do you want to help us make it? His sisters shook their heads no and shot off quickly, leaving a telltale trail of pineapple tart crumb behind them. Jin wished Tuye had asked him to help too, but Babas never got asked. Only Nyonas did. Jin never understood why. No one else had a better nose than he did, or could tell the difference between ginger and galangal as well as he could, and no one loved food more. Every clang and chop from the kitchen made him inch closer and closer to the action. Squaring his shoulders, Jin cleared his throat loudly. Ahem! I can help, he offered boldly. Aoi, Jin, you just get bored, Toei replied with a cheerful pinch of his cheek. Jin's second auntie nodded wordly. You'll only get in the way, and we have so much to do already, toot his third auntie as she whizzed past. You'll mess everything up. The kitchen is not a playground, Jin. Buzz, 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 buzz. Jin's head started to hurt. Suddenly, Jin heard the loud thump of Mama's walking cane against the floor. I don't see anything wrong with Jin learning if he wants to. His aunties felt silent. Their queen had spoken. Mama looked at Jin and beckoned him over. Let's see what you can do, she said, tucking him under her arm. As Mama led him into the kitchen, Jin felt like he was entering another world. Nothing he had ever seen before was as red as Mama's sambal belacan. Nothing smelled as lovely as her stews. The sizzle of her stuffed fried fish sounded like music. He watched as the fire danced in the same way his insides were leaping, the pot on the stove bubbling over like his laugh. Slowly, Jin picked up Mama's pretzel. It fit into his hands perfectly. Mama looked at him and smiled, as if she could read his mind. Let's get to work. And so, Jin and his grandmother pounded. They pressed, they squeezed, they sliced. They teared up when the onions were cut and when the chili was too spicy, and when Jin made a joke so funny that they cried. Mama shared her secrets, like how her famous lasca recipe was actually passed down to her by her father. Jin listened as he perched on the stool across from Mama, watching her nimble fingers peeling and preparing each colorful ingredient with care. He loved hearing everything Mama had to say. When the time came for them to add the salt plums to the itek tim soup, Jin tried to follow Mama exactly. He didn't want to get anything wrong, especially not in front of his watchful aunties. He was so nervous, he almost dropped a spoon into the soup when Taui peeked over his shoulder. Mama winked at him. Don't worry, Jin. Cook from your heart, not your head. Jin took a deep breath and began to relax. moving with all the magic that he felt around him. Mama leaned over to sample his soup and gave a sigh. Perfect. Once they had finished, Jin and Mama surveyed the spread laid out before them. From rich red curries to the perfect plate pie teas and rainbow color strained a smile as they did so. Perfect indeed. That night, as the family sat down for dinner, everyone agreed that it was the best meal they've ever had. Mama told them it was because they had a special ingredient this year. The bees buzzed in loud agreement. Of course, La, I always knew Jin had a gift in the kitchen. That boy was meant to cook. Never doubted him for a second. The next lunar year, the kitchen still hummed with buzzy bees and sizzling stove tops, and right beside the queen was her happy heir to the kingdom, filling each delicious dish with sweetness, spices, and that very special ingredient. The end.